Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me doing a flip through of my Hobonichi weeks for December 2022 and January 2023. So at first I was just going to do the January one, but then I decided to do December so you all could see like just how I kind of changed up how I'm using it so quickly. So if you initially checked out my 2023 lineup, my Hobonichi weeks was going to be my mental health planning. And so like all things mental health, including like my food logging, mood, all of that. And so that's the plans that I have for here. And it has not went that way, and I'm okay with it. I think with this, just as well as what happened last year, I was using it for, I switched up like a different theme for each week in terms of what I was using it for. And I kind of like it this way because it's no pressure and it leaves me to just do what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna start with okay, so initially this was supposed to be used for a mood tracker. As you can see, I didn't necessarily use it for that, and in January I was anxious a lot of days. So I still haven't gotten what I really want to do with this. I think instead I'm just going to highlight the days that I work, because I am tracking back here. I did keep this the same. So back here, I'm tracking, where is that? Back here, I'm tracking for the 365 days, the days that I've worked. So I want to be able to see at the end of the year how many days I worked throughout the year. I think that would be pretty cool. And I started in December because I do plan on using a Hobonichi weeks for next year. And in doing so, I would start the next year in December like I did this one. So that's why December is already logged, and that's in pink. So each month I'm just going to switch off different highlighters so I can see. So that, I think, is what I'll change this for, since the mood tracker wasn't working for that. So I'll probably do that. And this is how my December, now I have a calendar, and this is what's in here, my actual calendar that I use to log things in. So I have my December calendar that I actually log things like appointments and different things like that. And so here, this calendar, because it's so small, that's why I don't use it for that. It was more like a fun kind of throw in things that I can remember, and that's it. I was doing the like, as you'll see these stamps, and I put this signifies the days that I work, because I was keeping in track for the next month. So this was December. This is January. Like the little weight things was used as signifying what days I worked. So then that way I could log it in the back like I just showed you. So other than that, it's just used for like a cute way. And this is February, so it just started. I didn't really put anything down. So this is just a quick little reminder. It's nothing serious. And now we are going into December. So I am proud of the fact that I at least gave it a try. So I was really trying to be creative with the space. I do write rather big. So it was an adjustment with me trying to get the spaces together. So this was going to be the hours I slept, any workouts, how my body was feeling pain-wise, and the food that I ate. And then over here is trackers. So I was able to log the food. It was just so difficult to write this small. And that, I'll be honest, I really didn't enjoy. Everything else, I feel like I sectioned off pretty good. It was good to get a quick view of how my pain level was, or where exactly I was feeling discomfort at. So I feel like this is always a good way, especially if you're the type of person that has different conditions that you go see a doctor regularly for, it's an easy way to track that. And logging my sleep, of course, it's always a plus for me because I don't sleep well. So knowing what type of sleep I got is good. Minimal decorations, as you can see, this was very much functional. Another week, I did the exact same thing. I kind of switched over because I realized it's already hard for me to write small. So I needed a bigger space. So sleep was still here, food was here, and then just logging how I felt. As you can see, I'm horrible at working out or anything of the sort. So that's why you see hardly any days with me logging that. The tracker I kind of kept up with. I feel like if I do weekly trackers, it may be a little bit easier and then log them on a larger scale on, the big tracker monthly. So that way I'll at least get what I'm doing. And this was just my goals for the month, and I put them down. And let's see. Well, this particular week, December 5th through the 11th, I did really good with reading a verse from the Bible, and not so good with everything else. Moving into the next week, the 12th through the 18th of December, I totally took out the food because it was just so frustrating to write in that small space, and I started using my Erin Condren wellness log for the food, and maybe I'll do a flip through of that sometime. Well, maybe at the end of February, so you guys can see how I was using that, because it was just too hard for me to write and log the food. And I feel like if I'm planning or using any type of notebook or anything like that, if it's not fun to me and it seems more like a hassle than anything else, then I just won't do it. And that's what happened. So I started to try to do my mood here because I realized I was failing pretty bad at it. Well, this is still December, but even in my last one, I was feeling pretty bad at logging my mood. I was like back doing it and wasn't accurate sometimes. So this was my way to try to get myself on track. And then I still log sleep, and I always wanted to try to do the ... log. So I did that, and I used the sticker for my meals. So I felt like even though I started in the Erin Condren one, this just gave me that meal planning outlook. So I know what it is I want to make. I just need to put it in. So the next week, the 19th through the 25th, as you can see, I did really well with logging my mood and sleep. And I think this way is easier because I'm able to just see. Now, the coming weeks, you'll see I switched it. I started with the lowest number to highest because it's just easier to look at it that way. Like if the more hours I sleep going up. So I did it this way. I took a picture because we went through a drive-through Lights Festival. And yeah, this is where I started to go rogue and do exactly what I wanted to do. And I just did it a mixture of, as you can see, my mood and wellness, but then also what was going on in my life. Whether it was me working, doing errands, my son had strep throat, my kids both, he had strep throat this day. We found out he had strep throat this day. The 20th is when I got the call. You know how you go and they do the test and you have to wait on them to call you for results. And that's when they let me know that they all had the flu. I didn't get it. I have been vaccinated for the flu because working in a hospital, you have to get all the vaccinations. But I had not yet went for my kids, but they do have the flu shot now. So that was the interesting week. And then moving into 26 through January 1st, same thing. I kept with, I really liked the layout of here and how it was working for me. So I kept with it. Minimal stickers still, but I was still able to log and write down the things that were important to me. So yeah, I kind of like doing whatever I feel is going on or whatever I feel like I want to focus for that week, because it just gives me that freedom. And again, I love Traveler's Notebooks, and Hobonichi is like the same. I mean, you know, a little bit smaller, but it's the same overall size. So it doesn't like pressure you to put so much on the page, but you can jot down important things. I also logged when, you know, I had a little retail therapy because everything was going cuckoo, you know, from them having the flu on through Christmas and being sick and them still moving into the next week. It was just a lot. And it's like they were sick during the Christmas break that they had. So it was just, they had missed the last week of school and then they were sick all through the Christmas break. So it just wasn't that fun. January, now we're into January the 2nd through the 8th, and again, I just logged appointments that I had, just how I was feeling as well. So one thing I can say with logging just my day-to-day things that are going on, I still was able to capture some wellness within there, you know, because I had a massage this day, you know, and emotional this day, sad, financially stressed. You know, you kind of see a lot of what was going on. And so for this side, I put calm because I said I've been so anxious these last months. I really need to intentionally do something to address the anxiety. And this is something that I need to take more seriously and struggling. So with that being said, going into the next week, I wanted to list out things that I could do to address the anxiety and just where I was at. So I feel like I really love this spread because I wanted to do something that was calming. The color was calming and just gave me like a real chill vibe. So I put ways that I could chill out, meditate, read, listen to a podcast or music, journal, stamp, or lay down with my daughter. We like love our time to like lay down and watch our shows and stuff like that. So I checked off what it was that I actually got a chance to do this week, which in turn addresses my wellness at the same time. You'll see I still log sleep as well. But everything I checked off, I got a chance to do but meditate. Meditate is something that I do need to work a little bit harder on being intentional with. But yeah, I really like this. Not to say that things have left. I was still overwhelmed. It showed I had labeled when I was able to get on the flu shot. They had to get a little bit better and not have a fever when I gave it to them. So when I took them to get it, so I was happy I did that. Moving on to January 16th through the 22nd, it was like a really nice wintry spread. That's when we were having a good winter week. It was cold. It was snowing off and on. I love the snow. So I was really, really in a good mood. And I took a picture because I had went to Target and they had out their Black History Month. Each year they do like a cultural, depending on what it is. Like when it was Hispanic month, Hispanic Heritage Month, they had like a section for that, and they had put out their Black History Month things. So I took a snapshot of that because I always love their display. And yeah, still lost my sleep. I did a little shopping for that, and it just showed the things that I did. Again, it was nice. I had fun doing it. Used a little bit more stickers, and this was last week to kind of end off the month, the 23rd through the 29th. Because I had did some emotional spending the week prior, I wanted to kind of focus on finances and just budgeting. And so it also gave me a chance to really use my budgeting, my Agenda 52 budgeting stickers. And I still had a sleep tracker, so to speak. Except I was putting down when I slept at least 5 hours. And that's 3 days out the week, which is good. My spending for last week was $421. The $245 was glasses. That was like a down payment on glasses, and $20 was like for food. But I paid initially like $215 or something like that for glasses, down payment on my glasses, and then I pay the remainder when I pick them up. And then it was food and some groceries. So I wasn't too in my feelings about this, because I need my glasses and I need to have the right prescription because I wear glasses all my life. I can tend to keep the frames and just keep going with them, but I needed to have like an updated, correct prescription, and I had only had one pair, so I decided to get that. I didn't feel bad about it, and it just showed over here kind of like how I felt like on the 26th. I caved and bought lunch at Subway. I was rushing, didn't plan anything for lunch to take to work, and I just got Subway. I felt a little bad about it, but I got it anyway because I needed to then. And the 27th shows that I put the $215 on the glasses, and then I also had takeout food, which was rather expensive because I went to Noodles and Company. And yeah, it was good to see and just focus on what I needed to for that week without having to try to put it anyplace else. So that's the reason why I feel like, and this is just the next week, I did it again for this week, me tracking my budgeting and just kind of focusing in on that. And I think I'm okay with just using it this way. I feel like it just gives me that freedom to get however I'm feeling out. And because I keep these, I'll always be able to go back and look. I did kind of update and add some things in here. I do gratitude back here. So you'll see like January gratitude is complete. And February, but so my sleep was getting so bad until I decided to like kind of take a snapshot of the last 2 weeks in January and sort of look at it. Because as you can see on this week, I slept horribly, like three. I just don't get good sleep, especially for the type of work that I do. I just need to focus more in on that. And this past week, I highlighted the days that I got over 5 hours. So that was 3, which I was happy about. And I just did a little notation down here about that. And this was a good way for me, a good useful way for me to use the notes section in the back, because my last year's Hobonichi, I did not get a chance to really use it because I know what to use it for and I didn't want to waste them. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this year, and how I want to use this year with using my things and trying different things out and seeing what I like and don't like. I had started new medication. I put note of it over here. And things that I'll be notating about it is the time of day that I took it, the symptoms, and whether I took it or not. So it's new medication. It does make me slightly drowsy. So the days that you see I didn't take it was the days that I was working. And I'm just trying to see how it makes me feel overall, because I don't want to be like drowsy at work. So I already did February. I did the colors for Black History Month, and something really simple. I didn't try to go all out. As much as I wanted to print out a calendar and just like tape it in here, I just wanted to just do it like this. And I felt like it was cool. It gave me a chance to use my stencils, which I rarely use, and I was just happy. It may not look like all the best, but I just like it for some reason. I just like just my own writing sometimes, even though it's definitely not the neatest. So yeah, that is what I've been doing so far in my Hobonichi. And let me know if you guys have been sticking to your plans of what you wanted to do in a planner, or have you already switched up like I did? Again, last year I think I was so hard on myself when I did switch up and change things. I know my birds have been talking a lot in the background. But this year I didn't. I don't feel bad about switching things up. I don't feel bad about trying things out. And maybe next month I won't do a log of my medication. Maybe I'll track or do something else. Yeah, like I'm actually utilizing the favorite sections and the things like that I want to log. The movies. So I'm really actually utilizing it, and I didn't do that last year. I want to start filling in some of my favorite things here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, if you all have switched up in your planners in any way, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.